Alright, so with that being said, thinking out loud, you already know what this is. You know who I am. It's your boy J Lip, TOLPcast.com. You know where we at, you know where I be. And I got my special guest in the building. Of course, the big homie, my bro, C Smith. C Smith, what's good, baby?
What's going on? What's going on?
And I got, of course, the missus in the building. Mrs.LIP, how you feeling?
Good. It's been a minute. Missed the show.
Well, that's what happens, but we appreciate you jumping in. We got to get straight to the shits because time is limited, and we know that we appreciate the fans. First and foremost, please go to TOLPcast.com. Not now, but after episode 100. You know why? Because I got the homie C Smith in the building, and he is the executive producer of the tracks that's gonna be on here moving forward. I already had the conversation with him. Nigga said he got me. I said I got you, and we keep it moving. Pause. So, with that being said, uh, this week,
I'm
don't be confused, nigga. We just doing what we do.
That pause was unnecessary.
No, I'm just saying I got you, you got me.
It just
Like
made it worse.
it was very
It just
intimate. It was
you
very
didn't need
intimate.
it.
It was very intimate. So, with that being said, regardless, I want to get y'all opinion first and foremost on what's happened lately as far as the media attention that's been going on with the new waves of Netflix and all that shit. I want to start off with Bird Box. Bird Box. What did y'all think?
I loved Bird Box. I thought it was a really great story, and I really liked kind of getting into it after the movie was done, kind of going on a YouTube spiral about where it originated. It used to be a book and all this stuff. It's a really interesting story. I thought it was a well done movie. I loved it. I thought it was great. A plus.
All right, Smith. What you think?
Yeah, it had a lot of dynamics to the movie. Sandra Bullock character. She was a single pregnant mom. She pretty much exiled herself from everybody, and pretty much it talked about your fears. That's what pretty much killed you, your fears or your biggest loss. And I thought it was well put together. I had no idea where the movie was going, so it just all of that by itself, just that's what made it good because you didn't know what to expect throughout the whole movie. Nothing was predictable except for like some of the dumb killings, but
So let me
it
ask you
was
this:
good.
why do you think so many people hated on the movie?
People hated on it. I
Yeah,
think
people
people
said the
just
movie was garbage. They walking around with ties and blindfolds and scarves and bandanas over
this
their
is
eyes,
this is
talking about that silly shit. Like, why do you
I
think
feel
that
like
people
the
didn't
only way you
resonate?
could hate the movie and think anything was pointless is if you weren't really paying attention. I feel like
yeah.
that movie did a great job of telling you exactly why everybody was doing everything.
The people I did say didn't like it, they said it had me thinking too much. I'm like, what? You're just dumb.
You
You're not
just
even
like,
no, you're just dumb. It wasn't that much to think about.
yeah.
Just follow the fucking movie. It's very simple. They told you everything throughout the movie.
They did. They
So,
really
Okay, so just so we can say, spoiler alert: at the end of the movie, we all
oh,
gathered from
oh,
the.
don't spoil the movie.
No, fuck that. No, the movie been out, so we can
did.
say that at the end of the day, with Bird Box, it was about demons and people seeing what their worst fears were, killing themselves over it, and the only people who really survive are the people who are blind or the people who are criminally insane who had no fear in and of themselves. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right.
Pretty much, yeah. And they tell you in the movie too. So,
All right.
no
So
confusion.
with
They
that
really
being
didn't leave a whole lot up to the imagination, which ended up
Right.
being fine. It was still a great movie, but I feel like it was the kind of movie where you needed to know what was going on to enjoy it. And I feel like the writers, the actors, everybody made a really enjoyable movie, and you really didn't have to think that hard. Like,
I mean, the only thing I think is like how she met her doctor there at the end. I'm like, how you get there?
what
Like,
you mean? Explain.
how did her doctor get to the school of the blind? She was working at the hospital the same day the shit happened.
yeah,
Yeah, that was the
and it
same
was
day.
like several years later and everything.
Yeah, 5 years. So I'm like, how did she manage? I know there's a few other people there that
Yo,
was
yo,
involved.
yo, yo, yo! I gotta shout out my Uncle Kev. Uncle Kev said hated it. Rip off from The Happening. Now I will
It's
say this.
not.
Definitely
Not
not.
even close.
Now let me say
Definitely.
this. The happening was about nature turning against human nature. So it was like the earth nature turning against human nature, making niggas kill themselves. Do y'all disagree with that? That wasn't
That movie,
similar, at least similar?
that movie is just complete trash. Like that's probably
Happening
one of his worst movies
Oh
ever
shit.
made.
Okay.
so bad.
What's
The
his name?
Okay,
happening
if
M.
they saying
Shyamalan
it's
Knight.
trash.
What's his
and
name?
this
M. Shyamalan
movie
Knight.
is based on a book that's like been out for a hot minute. It is not based on the happening. And if you just want to use the blanket idea of, the earth or some kind of antagonist trying to take out humans because they're messing with the earth, like there's been tons of movies like that. There was nothing in Bird Box that made us believe that these demons were there to eradicate us because we're doing anything to the earth. You're just mad because you can't see what was killing people.
But you
That's really
could
the
see if
only.
you opened your eyes
That's what
when
it
they tried to
was.
open your eyes. They said, "Look at how beautiful this is. Look how beautiful the demons are. Look at how beautiful this corrupt and I feel like this post-apocalyptic society could be." And that's where, to me, it got me when my man's was he was in the house and he was like, "Yeah, we ran away from the insane asylum." Well, he didn't say we. He said some niggas ran away from the insane asylum. They came and got us. I escaped, but he was one of them niggas though. Like
Yeah.
that's the part that tripped me out. He started drawing them
Right.
pictures with them crayons, and I was like, man, he's one of them.
And there's probably people out there who think that part was like super predictable, but I think it was necessary to move the story forward. So I was fine with
Right.
it. But I mean, it was kind of messed up because it just like a
Yeah,
whole bunch of people died real fast.
I didn't imagine them sitting in the house for until they get killed off or run out of food. So I'm like, something has to change.
But
Yeah.
you know what? As a black man, I gotta ask, why did Lil Rel have to die? Why do he have to sacrifice himself for the white
Lil
man?
Rel was a hero though. I could appreciate
He
that.
was, he was doing some dumb shit though, like start freaking out.
Go
Stuff.
in, go in.
I'm like, so you want to go outside? Go ahead, kill yourself. Go ahead, because you clearly know you go out there, you're done. So you're scared of what's outside, but you want to run outside because they got the car shaking. Make that make sense to me. The car is shaking because the demons are surrounding us, but I want to run out there. That was probably the dumbest thing. He made us look dumb for a minute right there.
Exactly. He let the
Bad
culture
for all of
down. He
us.
let the culture down. Let me ask you
Yeah.
about Bender Snatch, the Black Mirror movie. What did y'all think
Oh
about
man.
that interactive film on Netflix? I see a head
You didn't
shaking
like
no
that?
from Mrs. Lip.
Oh
Mrs.
man.
Lip, why you shaking your head no? What's going on, Mrs. Lip?
I gotta hit
I
that.
just feel I feel like it started off great. I was definitely way into it, but like towards the end, I just feel like the ending got really sloppy. And I don't think it was just based on the decisions that I made while I was watching the movie. Like I just feel like the whole thing kind of fell apart and they just threw it away. They're like, what are we gonna do with this ending? I don't know. Let's make the therapist fight. Like who? Why? This don't make no sense.
But if you think about it though, the whole thing was about us having choice over the
I
individual in the
get it.
film.
I just feel like that was just a very obvious take on it. Like that the whole movie is just about people not having control over themselves. I don't know. It just seemed lazy. I just feel like it could have been better done.
So have you saw all the alternate endings?
No.
Yes,
So
we have. No,
that,
we saw all
Did
five
we
of
see
those.
all of them?
Yeah, it's all five of them.
it's
It's
seven.
five.
It's seven of them.
I think you
Oh
might have seen
shit!
those on your own. I'm
You
pretty
said
sure
it's
I did
seven?
not see all of the alternate endings.
Okay, I
Yeah,
did not know it
it's.
was seven.
I double checked. There's seven of them. I've
Nigga
seen
said I
seven different
double checked.
combs.
I double checked. Okay, so
I thought.
so let's go through them real
I,
quick. He went through the ending where he went to prison. He went through the ending where he jumped off the cliff, which we did not see. So I'll give you that one. We didn't see that one. We saw every other ending except for the one where he jumped off the cliff, and we didn't see the ending where he put in the phone number because I fucked up. I couldn't remember the numbers, and my wife is sitting there like, "No, it's 5447." I'm like,
And then you couldn't delete, you couldn't go back. So we were screwed.
yeah, and
yeah,
we
I
will
saw
never
that
watch
one.
that again because it took so long to get to that point that it's like,
You
okay,
try to fast forward through it and you just can't.
So you saw the one when he went back to a child and he died in a
yes,
chair.
yes, we
You saw that one.
Yep.
Did you see the one when the option was Netflix
Yep.
and the chick that created it.
Yep.
Okay, you saw that one.
Yeah, the only two we didn't see was the one where he jumped off the ledge, and the only other one we didn't see was what happens after he puts in the right code on the phone. That's
That
the
was
only two.
actually my first option. Like, I want to know what people selected the first time. I didn't pick the safe route for nothing. I said no when they asked if you want to have a.
Well, you a wild nigga for that because you don't follow the trend of what's normal. You follow the trend of what is eccentric. That's what makes you TheyCSmith. Now, I will say this, covering for you in this regard, we cannot hear you, I cannot hear you, and Tony cannot hear you. So, with that being said, I'm gonna let you get your sound right, cause you scratching your face, you scratching the beard, but we cannot hear you, bro. What's good?
Well, this was my issue with Bandersnatch. I don't mind the idea, and I actually like and invite the idea of having this interactive experience with watching television. Like we interact with literally everything else between social media and our regular lives. Like it's nice to have that change of pace when I'm watching something. But I just feel like I had really high hopes for something that came from the same people who did Black Mirror, and this just I feel like it just didn't live up to the hype for me. I almost wish I just kind of wish it was just a movie. Like I feel like
Hold on one
there was
second,
probably
babe.
so
Hold
much
on one second,
time.
babe. Smith, you back? Smith, can
Is
we
he
hear you?
talking?
All right, go ahead, babe. Continue what you were saying.
I was just saying I it didn't live up to my expectations, and I kind of wish it was just a Black Mirror movie. Like I feel like the idea of Bandersnatch would have made a great movie on its own. It should have just been a movie to me. I just
Okay,
feel like it wasn't really well executed in this format.
okay, and that's fair. I'll give you that, and I will say that I feel like we both enjoyed the film. However, it was a little long, and that's usually my issue with films is like it's a little too long, but it gave us a lot of options for choices, and it felt interactive, and it was like a video game type movie.
It felt like a game. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was fun. It was fun. It just,
yeah,
and I mean, the only issue with it too is like if you made the wrong decision, you had to go back, which made it feel really choppy. Like my
yeah.
whole thing is if you're gonna give me an option to go in one direction, like flesh out that story, which I guess in film would take a really long time. But if that's what you're gonna commit to, then commit to it.
I appreciate you saying that because I feel the same way. I still feel like Bender Snatch was a solid B plus. It was a solid B plus. Would you give it?
You can't have a solid B plus. It's a solid B plus or B minus.
All right, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what Smith got to say when he get back on here. I want to ask you too about what's going on currently with this promotion in the black culture because we always got to bring it back. Okay, Smith took a snapshot. I don't know why the nigga taking pictures of us while we're doing this, but regardless, Smith, can you hear us? Smith,
Oh man.
Carnell, can you hear us? All right. With that being said, he's gonna be a placeholder for the face in the middle. Now, for right now, I want to ask you this. So we talked about, what was been going on with the media as far as what's been most popular. Let's
Mhm.
transition a little bit into what's upcoming and what we think about the things that are occurring in our culture right now. So, with that being said, there is a big wave, a huge wave, as far as people saying, and not people, but major label industry people saying that if you're not a boss, you a bitch. Meaning, if you're not a boss, running your own shit, got your own business, got your own revenue stream, then you just another nigga that's saying, yes, massa, thank you for this check. We appreciate you, and I appreciate the hot sauce on the chitlins. How do you feel as an independent woman who has taken advantage of the opportunity to be an independent quote unquote boss. And I want to challenge you on that because I don't want you to get too comfortable because this ain't gonna be no gas up session, baby. I got some
Oh, it's
questions.
fine. It's fine. I don't need you to gas me up anyway. I gas myself up every day by myself.
Hold on, I think we see Smith again. Smith, you back?
Hello?
How do you feel
Hello?
about the? I'm sorry. How do you feel about those sentiments that if you are not a boss, you're a bitch? How do you feel about that?
I think it's a little harsh. You know, I think that there has to be a balance between people who work in companies and for organizations and people who work for themselves to get everything accomplished. Like even though I'm a boss and I run my own stuff, I still have accountability to other people. They're not my boss, but they are my partners and my peers and people that I make commitments to. So, you know, it's not, I don't think it's fair to, you know, call somebody names because somebody else signs their checks.
And
Like
by
that's
names,
not
you say calling them a bitch.
right. Right.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. So with that being said, do you call yourself somewhat of a person who is more, I would say, a more elevated in what you can do and what you can provide for the culture? Because not only are you a woman, you're a black woman, and not only are you a black woman, but you're a beautiful black woman who is doing her thing in what I feel like is a type of economy that doesn't necessarily cater to that, which their norm is what you look
Yeah.
like. So how do
Yeah.
you feel about that?
I think I definitely feel like I have some distinct advantages. Oh, can we hear you?
I don't know.
Yes, we
Yay, we
can
can
hear you,
hear you.
nigga. Yes. Welcome back, nigga. Welcome back. Clap it up for the
I
homie one
guess
time. God
I guess
damn.
give somebody a call if it messes it up. I don't
Mm,
know.
Tell them hoes stop calling and lift the phone up to your head so we can
It said
get
it
that
says
dome.
scam likely.
But we need the light to bounce off the top of that dome so we can get the proper lighting. So lift the phone up a little bit.
You can't see me.
Oh, we can see you. I was making a
yeah.
joke, my ball brother. Go ahead. So what I was
I was just
asking.
saying that I do feel like I have a distinct advantage and a different perspective than a lot of some of my peers. You know, I can speak to what it's like to be independently employed and to set my own schedule and say yes and no to different contracts. Like, I think that's, you know, a conversation that a lot of people who look like me at my age can have. So I definitely think that's a benefit. But, you know, it comes with its challenges too. But, you know, I wouldn't trade it in for the world. It's been great.
And I know that's been great for you, but I feel like there's a certain level of disrespect that's given to the working man like myself or like Smith who when we hear shit like, y'all niggas need to start your own businesses, y'all niggas need to, get up on your own grind and hustle your own money into some other shit like that's the shit that fucks with me. So with that
My
being said,
answer to that is
go
if
ahead, go ahead.
everybody's a boss, then who gonna work for who?
Right.
Exactly, my nigga, exactly. If everybody's a boss, who's working?
Nobody's working. I'm a boss. You're a boss. So who working for us?
Yeah.
That makes
So
no sense.
I'm gonna talk to KG for a second. Talk about he said talk about them lean periods in business. Wow. Talk about them lean periods in business. Wow. I want to ask y'all a question. If you feel like, or rather, if we look at what Dame Dash was saying, he was saying basically you become your own boss from within self. You just do it. You just get your bread up and you do it. My thing is, he never addresses the fact that you get your bread up. How do you get your bread up? By going to fucking work. That's how you get
Yeah.
bread. So nobody wakes up
That's
and just has money unless you Donald Trump or one of these other politicians or rich boys or any other these well endowed people who just have money to invest. That shit is disrespectful to me as a black man because you're insinuating that I'm lesser than you because I can't wake up and do the same shit that you did. And so I want to know
and
from Smith perspective what you got to say about that.
first off, tell her you don't tell how he started. He started as a drug dealer. We all know about him, Jay. I really don't know about Kareem Biggs like that. I don't know his background, but I'm assuming he was affiliated with it too. So I'm like, you started off with drug money. You knew drug niggas. So that's how you funded yourself to get your record label off the ground. So now I don't know how you getting your money. I don't know. I don't know if you broke. I don't know because he invests his money all the time so much.
Right. Could be
So he always saying,
prostitution,
huh?
anything.
You said what?
Could be prostitution, anything. Go ahead.
That's a possibility. So I feel as though his mindset on being a boss, or I go back to the Breakfast Club interview where he specifically told DJ Envy, he said, do you own this building? Do you own iHeartRadio? DJ Envy like, no, but I own stock in here. He said, can you tell your son or daughter they could start a job here at any time? He like, yeah, I can actually. He's like, but is it yours though?
And I agree with you on that. And my issue is when you tell people shit like that, you almost give a false narrative because you're implying that anybody should be able to come out the womb and just hustle by any means necessary and then make their way up to the top. And that's not the way that we're supposed to be teaching our seeds. Like at the end
And
of the day,
you also have to consider, I'm sure there are people in Dame Dash's family tree who worked for other people at some point. Like he didn't just show up on the scene with all of this money and all of this opportunity.
let him tell it. No, babe. Let him tell it. He'll tell you that this nigga slid out the vaginal canal getting bread. That's what he would tell you.
And he's a liar. Then he's a liar because nobody functions that way. His mother or father or whomever raised him probably had to work for somebody else to put a roof over his head until he got old enough to be able to make his own money. Somebody had to provide for him at some point for him to get to that place. And you can probably think that for any entrepreneur. There's always people behind them or holding them up or supporting them. They had to make their money from somewhere before they can go make their money on their own.
And to get back to what C. Smith was saying, and I'm gonna let him close. I'm gonna let him say his piece. But to get back to that, he tried to refute the fact that the nigga tried to say that he came out the womb getting money. Like he tried to say, I ain't never worked for nobody. You can't say you ain't got no proof, no paperwork that I ever worked for nobody. But nigga, when you was on Rockefeller, y'all had a joint venture with Def Jam. Like everybody's seen the video where Def Jam gave them the Def Jam jackets for the fucking backstage, the Rockefeller tour. Like, come on, my guy. Like, let's be 100 with it. Like, we all get money from somewhere by the works that we do. So you get paid based off of production. If you can't produce, you don't get paid. So it hurts to hear another black man tell a whole generation of black people that if everybody ain't getting money, y'all niggas suck because y'all calling y'all bosses daddy and all this other silly shit. Smith, go ahead.
He pretty much he said, I remember that daddy part. He said if you call somebody a boss, you pretty much call them daddy, which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Say it again, nigga. Say it again.
They can rewind it when they watch
he
it.
Said I don't say that shit again.
But I feel as though he lives in a, like, he don't see the big picture. Like, he only see it from his point of view. He don't see it from the everyday working man. It's plenty of people, like Tony said. I know I work at Chrysler. It's people that have business ventures outside of Chrysler. Mm-hmm. The money they make at Chrysler will help them fund their business. Right. So for him to even say that, you want to get to that goal to the point you don't want to have to work for nobody. But there's nothing wrong with starting working at a plant or whatever you do.
And Smith, like, I feel as though, I'm wrong, but wasn't that what Envy said? Envy said, it ain't nothing wrong with starting off where you at and then investing, letting your money grow, getting opportunities for your kids. Also want to shout out real quick, KG said, he said, that's a lie, I'm a boss and I still work every day. So KG is a boss bitch. And then he also said, oh, no, KG, I didn't mean that. That's not what I meant to say. No, it didn't. KG, you my man, $100,000. How to get the funding, Lip? It is a huge undertaking that is often kept secret. He said, but
Yeah.
what he told Envy was correct. He can't get his kids at will. And that is a problem because you telling me just because if the company that I work for, I can't bring my kids in and walk them through and they can borrow money and take whatever they need from the company, that's unrealistic. That's just
Right.
unrealistic.
But I think at least in that part, I think is a bit fair. Like he's suggesting that you should have the power within your business to give opportunities to whomever you want. So, I don't think that's a bad thing to be able to have within your business and something to aspire to, even if you do work for somebody else. Like my father is the general manager for a restaurant and he got me a job there when I was 16 years old. Like that's a pretty nice perk. And
Right,
I
right.
think it
That's a
is
nice
fair to,
perk,
even if
but your
you work
father
for
was
somebody
still
else, to have those kind of perks to bring others along if you're able to.
okay. So let me say this without being disrespectful. When your father brought you into that job, was your father working for another man?
Yeah.
So your father called another man daddy?
No.
Okay,
No.
so
You could ask my father if he called another man daddy and he'll tell you the same thing.
I ain't gonna ask
My
your
dad
father if
goes
he
to work
said that
every
shit.
single day and
I ain't
makes an
gonna ask
honest
him that
living,
shit.
but he has gained the respect and the opportunity and the power within that business to be able to make those kinds of decisions because he is at the highest level that somebody like him can be. He's right underneath the owner. So, while I don't
Pause.
agree with some of the language that Dame Dash used, I agree with the idea that you should be striving to be as high up as you can wherever you're working so you can provide opportunities for other people to be able to take care of
So
yourself.
just so I could close this out real quick, I just want to make it clear. Dame Dash did not imply that you work under somebody like you said your father works under another
I
man.
agree.
Pause. He
I
didn't say that. He said you don't work under no other man. You put your own bread up, you flip it, you make more. That's what he said. And so to Smith's point and to what Dame Dash has been saying recently, he been talking his ass off about how niggas, well, black people in general need to basically start our own companies. We need to be our own bosses. But to Smith's point, how can everybody be a boss if nobody's working? That's all my question is. I want to close it out with that question. How can everybody be a boss if nobody's working? We can look at our relationship. I'll set it up like this. My wife, Mrs.LIP, she is a boss. She does her own thing. She's sitting there. Show them the t-shirt. Show them the shirt you got on right now.
have on a t-shirt with my logo on it.
Okay. Well, you ain't gonna pull it up. You ain't gonna do the
No,
thinking
I'm
out.
not gonna pull up my
Okay,
shirt. No,
exactly.
I'm
Well,
not
I
gonna do
didn't say
that.
pull it up, babe. That's gross. I wouldn't do that. But that's see now we look. All I'm saying is,
You cannot
at the end of
stop
the
it.
day, I made a way for you to be able to have your own business, but I still go
We
to work and I don't
did.
look at
We did.
myself.
We did that.
We did that, but I don't look at myself as no slave or no calling nobody daddy. I go to work every day, I do my thing, and I'm the fucking man with what I do. I feel like in the same respect with Smith, if Smith go to work and he grind and he do what he do and he flip his money however he feel like, that'll make him less than a man. But I feel like Dame Dash would like you to believe that you are less than a man because he feels like if you not a boss and you ain't putting up your own money, then what the fuck is you doing? Somebody's your daddy. Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna let y'all close it out though. Smith, what you think?
I mean, you always mention about what the black people do. You look at everybody else, all the other races, they do it as a cult together. All black people want to do everything individually. So that's why if you want everybody to be a boss, we have to do it together as one. And that would never happen with his
How?
mindset.
How then? How do we do it as
I'm
one?
not telling you how, because I
Starting your
know
own
how.
business together, if you're able, going into ventures as a group, as opposed to everybody trying to do it on their own and making it that much harder. Like there are cultures out there who do this all the time. Start restaurants together, start websites, make an app, whatever you want to do. There's plenty of side hustles that you could do without having a ton of capital.
And you know why they're successful? Because none of them are trying to be the number one guy or the number one woman. They're trying to just succeed as a whole. That's the problem with Dame Dash mindset. He's saying, I need to be the boss. I need to be the top dog. And with this me concept, you see where he at now in life.
And I mean, even if you look at him, even when he was saying this, it's not like he was running a company by himself. He had a team. He had partnerships. He had people working for him. He had people who were probably working on his same level. His name might have been at the top of the list, but he wasn't doing any of this stuff by himself.
All right,
Never.
before I let this go, I gotta say, KG said, I will say this is some of the most success. He said, I will say this some of the most successful people work for the other people running your own company is super hard. He said, not take from the money. I'm talking about get them a job. Woods, holler at your boy. He said, we do more businesses than owners. Lip call his wife mommy. What the fuck, AP? Like, I never call my wife mommy. What the? All right, fuck that. And then Leslie Lewis. Shout out to Les Lou. And again, D Woods. Black people gotta hire their own and empower them to make their own. Do y'all agree with that? We're gonna close it out.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
like like Tony said, the language he used is just horrible. Like if you word it in a different way and just people understand him more, but the way he talk is just give you a bad just taste in your mouth.
Well, I feel that pause. But with that being said, I do appreciate the taste of y'all mouths, and I appreciate y'all being on here for the podcast. We doing this shit, man. Episode 97, episode 100. I'm trying to tell y'all niggas something major is happening with me, with C. Smith, with the whole crew. I can't even speak on it. All I'm gonna say is this: appreciate what y'all got now because the shit getting turned up. So again, I appreciate you, C. Smith, bro. Love you, nigga. Let's get it.
Hey man, feelings mutual
See,
always.
see, niggas can't say I love you too. That's
Hey
that's
man, I
that's
love you too, bro.
say it. I
When we
love
say
you too.
when we say I love you, just don't say daddy at the end or
Come on,
mommy.
I didn't say daddy. I didn't say mom. Man, okay. And
Just
then
don't say
Mrs.
daddy or
Mrs.
Oh
mommy.
God.
Mrs. Lip, you good?
Yes, I am great.
All
Thank you
right.
for having me.
And with that being said, I think this is a well kept episode. Episode number 97. We got 98, 99. We got two more before we drop some big bombs on you. But for now, we out.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.